being too heavy-handed with a particular group of people they're supposed to be serving or other activities. And so again, the library brought the community and the police together at the library to talk about, okay, this is what we're looking at, this is what we have concerns about, and so it's an opportunity then for the library to be a player in helping to solve, again, an issue that's going on in a specific community with the police. Again, opportunities when you're building a new library or making new renovations, you want to get as much input as you can from the community. Those who don't get input, again, you will have challenges saying, why did you do this? And we were talking about if you had to take a whole space out of the library to turn it into something else, if you don't get the community to buy in first, you're going to get a lot of complaints afterwards. So again, talk to the community, get information from them on how they want to use the library. Then you have more or less the proof to say, well, people want more meeting space. They want more opportunities to engage with technology. And then you can figure out and say, as you said, that we may have to move the books somewhere else. For those people who are concerned about that, you can explain, they can understand the need to make those changes. So transforming spaces, again, there are different ways. Again, obviously you can build a brand new building, and some people are doing that. But universities in the United States, again, are trying to create those spaces that Jay talked about that are engaging, that bring people in to the library so that they can see how important it is. Again, if no one's coming to the library, even though you may have a lot of activity outside the library that is important, but you still need to have shows that the library itself is a destination. And so the libraries are looking at how they can create space that is useful to their university. So again, you cannot say, well, it's more useful to the library because we want to have a book. This is where we should have the books. Well, but if they're not really interested in the books, then you have to have the courage, really, to change your spaces around. So this is a perfect example from the University of California, Berkeley, that says university libraries are being redesigned in the digital age. And this is just, again, they took out, I think, 150,000 books out of the main library, created new space based on what the users wanted. And again, it got featured in the Los Angeles Times magazine, newspaper magazine. So again, you're creating these changes, but you want to create visibility, you want to create buzz so people can see the changes that are happening, not only within a very small part of the community, but again, more widely. So as I said, maker spaces obviously are great examples. School libraries are changing their spaces around, which mostly those are very small spaces, but they're, again, making the necessary changes to provide new interactive elements that the students can work with as librarians and also work with the teachers. This is also happening, again, in public libraries. And again, I mentioned, obviously, you want to look at your physical spaces, but you also have to look at your virtual spaces. So again, everybody may have a website. The question is, how engaging is your website? How engaging is your social? Do you have a social media pages? Do you have a Twitter account? Do you have Facebook, other activities where you are then able to interact with your community in those spaces where they are more or less interacting right now? So again, this talks about where you need to dedicate time and resources to. Many times it's like, okay, we will have a Twitter account, but we won't pay too much attention to it. But again, if you want to get the information out about what's going on in your library, that may be the best way to do it. Obviously, we talked a little bit about staffing and transformation of staff. It's something that needs to happen, again, as far as people changing the roles that they're doing, or as people retire, again, looking at that staff position and saying, well, we need to reorganize because we need to increase our interaction with our users. So, as you said, people are no longer so much in the back end of the library. They are much more either in the front part of the library, or they are outside the library now. So these are just some, I'll just go through some of them. These are just went through and found some new names of what people's job titles are. So you have emerging technologies librarian, you have information literacy librarian, community engagement librarian, outreach education librarian, user experience librarian, metadata librarian, scholarly sharing strategist, head of publishing and repository services, learning and inclusion strategist, digital content librarian. These were not positions that were around 15 years ago, right? There was a reference librarian, collection development, there was, a cataloging people, right? These are all, like I said, changes that are going on within staffing itself because, again, we need to be more focused on the users. And this is at all levels, public libraries, academic libraries. These are all examples from different parts of the library community. In the United States, again, looking at what some services that are needed within the community or that are things that you need to have in your library based on who's coming to your library. So we actually have public libraries that now have hired social workers because either you have, in large urban areas, you have large homeless population coming in, and that's a challenge for the library itself. How do they integrate that? How do they talk to people? Or not only just for homeless people, it's people who have social service needs. So there may be people who are unemployed, and again, how do they find assistance? Or if they are new immigrants to the United States. So instead of just hiring librarians, they are working with hiring either a social worker or they are working with a local medical institution or university to have staff come in and help out people at the library. So again, it's part of that, knowing what your community needs, and then, like I said, having the vision and wisdom to change and think outside of what you've normally done and saying, well, we have an issue in the community, we have an issue in the library. Well, that issue is dealing with either people who are homeless and having challenges or people who need more social services. Well, we need to dedicate someone to help with that. So you have to make those changes, the flexibility to make those changes within your own organization so that you are serving the community versus serving the library itself. So in academic libraries in the United States, had been obviously a little more faculty-centric, and we've had some discussions about that before. I'll try to get through this. But now it's much more student-centric. So trying to figure out student success is critically important now. So the focus is now on students more than everything else. There's scholarly communication, but it's the student success is now the main driver in academic institutions. So they're creating spaces for the students to do some of their new activities. Again, the library is instead of letting someone else create a digital media space, the library is being the digital media space and providing the assistance and the technology expertise to help with people. Again, students now are not creating just straight papers. They're creating visual, production projects that they're working with the faculty are asking for. So the library needs to change and create some spaces where they can utilize and participate. This is an example just of Purdue University creating content and being a resource for not just the faculty, but for the students. So again, it's really getting out to what is the need within the community. If there is not something, maybe the library creates it and becomes the content creator for that. That's part of the open repository, the research data management there. And again, you can't probably see it too well, but they have the pictures of the librarians who are involved. So again, visibility. The librarian shouldn't be hiding anymore. The librarians need to be a visual face for people to say, okay, I recognize that person when they're on campus, when you're interacting with them. Again, sustainability is something very important. So libraries in the United States are getting involved in the sustainability issues. So sustainability plans, not just for the library, but also for the campus. Again, how they're helping to more or less save the environment and other activities. Tons of program topics. Again, it's hard to see, but again, programming has increased dramatically in the United States, especially in public libraries, but also in academic libraries. So there's, again, if you look at each library, they're doing so much with programming now. It's not just people, again, coming to the library to find information. It's like we're creating activities for them to interact on different topics that they're interested in. Like what you see on Amazon and other ones. You have to have ones that are visually appealing. You can't have just a website that is boring and a lot of text. So again, you have to have developers, people who are able to do this for you. Again, creating your own activities, a maker fair, an annual fair. So again, it's looking at, what can the library do? And it's, like I said, taking some time off some other activity, but creating a new activity. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but you have to be willing to, you know, try something new based on what there might be an interest is in your community. Again, keeping healthy, a lot of libraries do health fairs, again, where you bring in people to talk about different health issues. So again, you're creating, again, like here, you could have a whole symposium on health, the healthy community at the library versus somewhere else. Summer reading, again, we've done that very much in the United States. We have very long summer where kids don't go to school, so it's a challenge. So public libraries have done summer reading, but now they finally realized, well, a lot of those kids don't have a lot of economic resources, and so they don't get lunch. So now libraries are interacting and having lunch for the kids all summer long, just like they do during school. So that brings the kids in. It also gives them nourishment. So you need the mind nourishment and the body nourishment. United States, we now have what we call an opioid crisis, where we have a lot of people who have gotten hooked on medicated drugs and are now also using other medication. Again, how does the library help with those resources? Again, we have people coming to the library actually who are overdosing, and so the librarians have to figure out what can they do to help people, and again, how do they help families that are dealing with this? Again, what resources do they provide? So again, it's looking at what are the, you know, as a new issue comes up in your community, how can the library respond to that? How can they participate? Who can they work with? Workforce development, again, in the United States, libraries are helping a lot with people to change careers. So again, how do you create opportunities for them to learn new data skills, to work on their resume, other things. And library as a business. We have libraries now that create space for individuals to come in and use their space kind of as a little business office. So they can use that space. The library has the resources. They have the computer. They have a printer. They have other things that the individual can do if they want to start up their own business. New services for obviously we have people getting older, and again, you have people who are, you know, having dementia or having a hard time memorizing things, so you create, you know, programs for that population. So again, it all depends on what your community is facing, is what you need to respond to. And then again, new partnerships and new collaborations, we were talking about that. Again, it's going out and making these partnerships. We cannot stand alone. Libraries cannot be by themselves anymore. So, and here the mayor in New York said a partnership with city libraries to develop NY Citizenship Initiative. So the city of New York wants to get their new immigrant populations to be more participative in New York, and so the library is helping with that citywide effort. So again, you know, what is your administration or your government or whoever you are responsible to also interested in finding how you can meet their goals? This is an example of a tool library. So libraries are not just lending out books anymore in the United States, they're lending out tools. So again, if you have a population that is interested and doesn't want to buy those tools, you know, and they've actually then partnered with another entity that then you go to the library, you check out a tool, so you want to buy a saw or something. You want to rent a saw, and then you go to the other place, give them the card and say, I want to borrow this. So again, it's the library being part of the community to solve what are issues. This is again just with school libraries, a lot of things that they're doing with again, being very creative on how they're interacting with their teachers to, again, create multifaceted programs that are integrating the library, not just being separate, waiting for people to come to the library. Again, we have this new Libraries Transform campaign. Any library in the world can participate in this. We only have most of the resource tools in English right now, but you're certainly welcome to use that. We're in discussions to try to get AFLI to work with us on creating an Arabic version that then the whole Arab community could utilize this, based on a lot of the facts that, you know, libraries are considered not nice services anymore in your community, but essential services is what we're trying to get the message across. So we have it based on a lot of because statements. So again, it's hard to read, but again, the main messages are libraries transform lives, libraries transform communities, librarians are passionate advocates for lifelong learning, and libraries are a smart investment. Those are the 4 key messages we're trying to get across to the officials and other people. And then again, there's these because statements. Why are libraries transforming? Because there's something going on in either the community or somewhere else where libraries are changing what they're doing. So again, kind of getting back to why do we need to transform? Because our communities need us to transform to help them. And so that's just a quick overview. And again, I'll be happy to answer questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. التجربة الثانية بعنوان الوعي المعلوماتي بين المكتبيين والاكاديميين من خلال عرض تجربة شمعة قدمها استاذتنا الدكتورة مول وريتا معلوف. وعن الدكتورة مول بشرفني اقدمها استاذتنا بعلم مكتبات المعلومات من عام 79 مستشارة وزارة الثقافة من عام 99 ل 2003 وكانت خلال الفترة مسؤولة عن مشروع إعادة إحياء المكتبة الوطنية وبنفس الوقت تابعت أعمال المشروع بعد 2003 بصفة استشارية. تولت تأسيس شبكة المكتبات العامة، عضو اللجنة التنفيذية لبيروت عاصمة عالمية للكتاب عام 2009 وعضو اللجنة الدائمة للكتاب والمكتبات في وزارة الثقافة خلال 2005 إلى 2009 وهي حاليا رئيسة جمعية السبيل من عام 2017. بيقدم الورقة مع السيدة ريتا مالوف. طبعا ريتا هي المديرة التنفيذية لشبكة المعلومات العربية التربوية شماع منذ إنشاء عام 2007. حاصلة على الماجستير في علم المعلومات من جامعة مونتريال. عملت 3 سنوات في مشروع إعادة تأهيل المكتبة الوطنية في لبنان وأستاذة محاضرة في كلية الإعلام والتوثيق في الجامعة اللبنانية.
هلا صباح الخير. رح ننتقل لبرزنتيشن بالعربي. بعتقد الكوميونتي العربي كبير كفايه وانا كثير مبسوطه قد ايه عدد اللايبراريين الموجودين معنا اليوم. مثل ما قال الدكتوره مود هي كمان مستشاره لشمعة ومنسقه مشروع التدريب اللي نحن جايين نحكي عنه. اللي رح نحكيه اليوم هو تعريف كتير سريع بشمعة لأنه بعتقد كتار منكم بيعرفوا شمعة. رح نعرف شو هو مشروع التدريب يلي نحن جايين اللي عملنا عليه بحث ودكتورة مود رح تحكي عنه. رح نشوف شو هو تطور مفهوم وعي المعلومات وبرنامج شمعة التدريبي مقارنة بالمفهوم الحديث لوعي المعلومات. كيف تم الإعداد والتنفيذ وأثر هالبرنامج التدريبي على شو الأثر، خاصة دور اللايبراريان المكتبيين شو كان بهذا العوائق والصعوبات، ورح يكون عندنا ختمة كثير سريعة. شمعة بعتقد مثل ما قلت كلكم بتعرفوها، وإذا صار لنا 4 دقائق بالآخر بنفرجي فيديو تعريفي كوربوريت فيديو بالآخر إذا كان باقي وقت. بس هي شمعة مؤسسة غير ربحية تقدم دراسات تربوية ب3 لغات اللي بتصدر باللغة اللي بتصدر فيها. وصول حر open access أكيد يعني مجاني، وصول مجاني من دراسات ابتداء من 2007 اللي صدروا من 2007. بالوقت الحاضر بتحتوي على أكثر من 40,000 دراسة، 60% تقريبا منهم فول تكست، رسائل واطروحات، مقالات، كونفرنس بروسيدينجز اتسترا. تقريبا بمعدل 20,000 بالشهر بفوت يوزر بفوت بالشهر على بيستخدم قاعدة معلومات شمعة. وكمان يلي ما بيعرف شبكة المعلومات العربية التربوية هي الأكرونيم تبع شمعة هو شبكة المعلومات العربية التربوية. طيب كيف خلق مشروع التدريب؟ من خلال زياراتنا للجامعات بالدول العربية تنعرف بشمعة بالأساس، تنقول للعالم في قاعدة معلومات بالتربية اسمها شمعة وكيف بيستخدموها. اكتشفنا انه في ضعف، في نقص، في ما بعرف شو بدي اسميها عند الباحثين. ما بيعرفوا يعني قاعدة معلومات، ما بيعرفوا يبحثوا اكيد يعني مع معمم، بس انه قسم كبير من الباحثين بالدومين التربية ما كتير بيعرف شو يعني قاعدة معلومات. بذات الوقت وقت صرنا نجمع الدراسات اكتشفنا كمان انه في يعني ضعف او يعني بالنوعية، نوعية البحث. هذا كمان مشروع تاني كبير عم نشتغل عليه هلا، بس اليوم رح نشتغل اكثر، رح نحكي اكثر على كيف اكتشفنا انه في حاجة كبيرة لتدريب الباحثين التربويين. مشروع التدريب بيتوجه لطلاب بمرحلة الماجستير أو مرحلة الدكتوراه بكليات التربية بالدول العربية للجامعات الحكومية مش الخاصة مبدئيا. في شرط أساسي واحد تنقبل الطالب إنه بيتسجل بالتدريب أو لا، هو إنه يكون اختار موضوع بحثه تيعرف حاله أكثر كيف بده يشتغل وكل يعني لازم يكون تم اختيار الموضوع. من هون بريح شوي رح اترك الكلام لدكتورة مود تخبركم اكثر عن البحث اللي عملناه من بعد ما عملنا مجموعة تدريب.
اوكي تغيرت القياسات. شايفيني؟ مش من مصلحتي رافق ريتا. طيب بعد تجربه على 8 جامعات عربيه تقريبا عملنا 10 دورات، قلنا انه مهم انه نقيم هاي التجربه، والبحث اللي كمان البحث المطور اللي رح ينحط على موقع الجمعيه ويمكن ننشره قبل ما نحطه على موقع جمعيه، هو تحليل لهالتجربه على ضوء اساسا المفهوم الجديد لوعي المعلومات. يعني انه هيدا البرنامج هو برنامج وعي معلومات، حبينا نشوف قديش هو بيلتقي مع برامج المفهوم الحديث لوعي المعلومات. شو الاثر اكيد اللي حققوه، شو الصعوبات والعوائق اللي اعترضته، ومن ضمنها وكمان شو كان دور المكتبيين وشو نحن منتظرين من دور المكتبيين. لو نجاوب على السؤال الاول، هو انا اللي حجاوب على السؤال الاول هلا. لاي مدى بيهدف برنامج شمعة لكسب مهارات يلي حددها المفهوم او حددتها الجمعيات بناء على مفهوم حديث لوعي المعلومات. رح احكي بسرعه كيف تطور مفهوم وعي المعلومات، بعدين حاعرض كمان بسرعه برنامج شمعة، وبعدين حنشوف لكم شو اللي اضافته او شو اللي كيف بيلتقى برنامج شمعة بالمفهوم الحديث لوعي المعلومات. اوكي هلا بالنسبه لتطور المفهوم، يعني انحكى عن وعي المعلومات يمكن بال 89، ضلت لفتره طويله طاغيه نظره شوي تقليديه، نظره المكتبيين، على اساس يعتبروا انه وعي المعلومات هو كانه امتداد برامج تدريب على استخدام المكتبات. باواخر القرن العشرين 1999 و2000 بلشوا يحطوا يوصفوا المهارات يلي هي منتظره من شخص واعي معلوماتيا. هلا هيدي اللي صاروا يحطوها كمعايير، انما ضلت هالمعايير تركز على اجراءات البحث التوثيقي. وبعدنا ضمن هيدا المفهوم انه اللايبراريان عليه انه يعلم المستفيد كيف يستعمل المكتبه وقواعد المعلومات والمصادر الموجوده بالمكتبه. اجراءات البحث التوثيقي كانت الافعال لما هن عم يوصفوا مهارات وعي المعلومات، كانت الافعال اللي بتتكرر بوصفهم لوعي المعلومات هي كلها لها علاقه بالوصول الى المعلومات، البحث عن المعلومات، يعني find واكسس وجاذر كانت اكثر الافعال المستعمله لما كانوا يوصفوا مهارات هاي. من بعدين تقريبا 2011 وطالع بلشت تطلع افعال ومصطلحات جديده ما كانت موجوده قبل لما صاروا يوصفوا مهارات وعي المعلومات. هدول الافعال بتدل اكثر على عمليات ذهنيه رايحين ابعد من مجرد البحث التوثيقي، وادخلت ايضا معايير اخلاقيه باستعمال المعلومات. رح نشوف مثلا الافعال يلي ظهرت ببرامج مثلا بالانسيل، بس كتبتها لانه ضلني انسى شو هو الانسيل. أنسيل A New Curriculum for Information Literacy 2014 استعملوا كثير الأفعال التمييز distinguish، النقد critique، التعرف identify، وما عاد بينت أفعال مثل find وaccess وgather. جمعية المكتبات أو جمعية المعلومات السويسرية مثلا هي ركزت على استخدام المعلومات والمعايير الأخلاقية باستخدام المعلومات. هلا يمكن أهم شيء أنا شفته هي إنه الأدبيات حول مهارات وعي المعلومات، الأدبيات مثل كونان مثلا 2014 حكى عن التعبير عن المعلومات، حكى عن المشاركة بالمعلومات، وحكيوا عن الاستفادة من المعلومات لخلق معلومات جديدة. صرنا بعد شوي عن المفهوم الأول التقليدي. هلا بدي أحكي هلا عن برنامج شمعة. برنامج تدريب لشمعة بيتضمن 5 وحدات تدريبية موجهة لطلاب الماستر والدكتوراه مثل ما قلت لكم. الوحدة الأولى البحث في قواعد المعلومات التربوية، هيدي بعدنا ضمن الإجراءات البحث التوثيقي، في تدريب على استخدام تقنيات البحث المتقدم في جوجل وجوجل سكولر، في طبعا استخدام إريك واستخدام شمعة طبيعي اللي الطلاب يبدو انه ما كانوا كثير بيعرفوها بالجامعات العربيه، مش كلهم. كمان الوحده الثانيه بعدنا ضمن شوي تقليدي اللي هو الاستشهادات المرجعيه، كيف يستخدموا، كيف يعملوا استشهاد، كيف يكتبوا الاستشهاد ووفق الاي بي اي اللي هي هو المعيار المستعمل من قبل التربويين وعلماء النفس. كمان عم نورجيهم كيف يعملوا استشهاد صحيح ليتفادوا الانتحال العلمي او السرقه الادبيه. وفي عنا من ضمنه برنامج زوتيرو لاداره وتنظيم المراجع، لانه زوتيرو متوفر مجانا. هلا نجي على الوحده الثالثه اللي هي صياغه الملخصات، لانه الطلاب مطلوب منهم انه يكتبوا ملخص ويحطوا كيوردز باول الاطروحه، وايضا كمان نشجعهم انهم يبعثوا ملخص عن اطروحتهم او رسالتهم الى قواعد المعلومات والى شمعة. وبالتالي في عنا وحده تدريبيه عن صياغه الملخصات اللي هي فينا نقول بلشنا نفوت اكثر بالمشاركه بالمعلومات والتعبير عن المعلومات. في عنا وحده عن حقوق الملكيه الفكريه، هون صرنا بالاخلاقيات، كيف بيتجنب الانتحال العلمي، كيف بيقدر يستفيد، شو هو القوانين، شو هي القوانين لكل بلد. عرضنا القانون، الملكيه الفكريه والاتفاقات الدوليه. الهدف نعرفهم بالاستثناءات على القانون، انه لا يقدر يستفيد الطالب من الاستثناءات لحتى يقدر يستخدم مراجعه ضمن المعايير الاخلاقيه. كمان عرفناهم على المشاع الابداعي Creative Commons، لحتى اولا يستفيد من كل شيء منتج ومنشور عبر الكرياتيف كومنز المشاع الابداعي، ولحتى هو كمان انتاجه البحثي يقدر يحطه كمان كمصدر مفتوح. نحن هون بالمشاركه بالمعلومات. هلا الوحده الخامسه هي خاصه، هيدي الوحده الخامسه اضافتها شمعة للاطار الاكاديمي. هي الوحده حول مراجعه الادبيات او ما يسمى قسم الدراسات السابقه في الدراسات العربيه، يلي بنفضل مراجعه الادبيات لانه اشمل وفيها اكثر مراجعه مش بس عرض للدراسات السابقه. حاولنا هيدي الوحده اعتبرناها تتويج للبرنامج، وهي اجت بدي اقول يعني اجت نتيجه لقاء اللي صار بشمعة بين Librarians او متخصص بعلم المعلومات مثل ريتا يلي هي شافت الحاجه الى تدريب على وعي المعلومات، مع اكاديميين هن عم بيشوفوا الضعف في الانتاج الفكري بالجامعات من قبل الطلاب والباحثين في الجامعات العربيه بالمجال التربوي عم نحكي، وشافوا انه الضعف الاساسي هو باستخدام المراجع، بالتعبير عن المعلومات اللي عم بياخذوها هن وعم يقروا هالمراجع، التعبير عنها بطريقه مفيده لبحثهم، يعني ادماج المعلومات والمعرفه اللي عم ياخذوها من مصادر المعلومات الى انتاجهم نفسهم، الى دراستهم نفسها. وهيدا اعتبرناه تتويج، وهي بالحقيقه هيدي الوحده هي الاكثر شيء فينا نقول تلتقى مع المفهوم الجديد لوعي المعلومات، لانه هو السبيل الافضل لاكتساب المهارات يلي هي اول شيء مقارنه الدراسات السابقه، مش عرض الدراسات السابقه وانما مقارنتها. طبعا ضمن المسؤوليه الاخلاقيه طريقه عرضها، التعبير عن المعلومات المكتسبه والمشاركه بها، تقييم